Hey guys, welcome to CultureChitChat, my new podcast, my first and ever. No, let's do that again. Hey guys, welcome to CultureChitChat, my first and new podcast. I'm so excited. So my name is Yasmin, and I'm really excited to start this podcast. I've been wanting to do this forever, but I block myself. So in this first episode, we're going to be talking about just like this podcast and myself, introducing myself to you, explaining how I came up with it and why, and all these questions that one could think of. And so let's get started. So I'm a French student. I'm in Paris. I'm kind of in the suburbs of Paris, and I'm studying, going to uni. But I have actually never lived in Paris before. I've lived in Dubai my entire life and just grew up there. And then in September 2020, came here in France to get my degree. We're almost there. One more year. So and so I was saying, I grew up in Dubai. Dubai is a city in the United Arab Emirates that is full of expats. More than 80% are expats. So I grew up with a lot of cultures around me. I grew up with a lot of nationalities and just religions and just basically everything and everyone and anyone, just really. So I grew up with Christmas, with Diwali, and obviously like Eid. So it was really nice. And I grew up with different, nationalities like Lebanese and Algerians and French and basically and Indian and basically like every nationality you could think of. I've always been interested in cultures because I have thankfully been able to travel all around the world since I was young, thanks to my parents. We do like a cool destination. So like, for example, last February, I went to South Africa. Or like when I was younger, I went to Jordan, I went to Istanbul in Turkey. I went to Algeria for the first time. Where else did I go? I went to Belgium. I went to the UK. But anyways, all of this to say, I'm very thankful and grateful for the opportunities that I have, and I take that as a blessing. So this is also one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast, because I'm trying to use up all my knowledge of my travels and sharing it, because I think it's really interesting. I watch them myself. I watch people travel and vlog about it. I try to learn a lot, try to learn languages. So I do speak a few languages, like the three main, which are English, French, and Arabic. And then by myself, I've learned like a bit of Korean. I'm trying to learn a bit of Portuguese, because I made Brazilian friends when I went to Korea, which, yes, I went to Korea on an exchange with uni. So that was an interesting and really fun semester. And recently I've been I'm starting to learn Japanese. And all this, by the way, I'm learning just on Duolingo. It's not really like intense learning. It's just like for my own like knowledge, just basic stuff, just basic stuff. I want to be able to like read, even if I don't understand it. I just want to be able to read different characters, not just like the normal alphabet, the English alphabet, ABCs. I want to be able to learn, so I know how to read Korean, and I want to learn how to read Japanese. This is all about me now. So why did I create this podcast? So one of the reasons why is that recently I have been watching and listening a lot of podcasts, because Some of them are only on Spotify, so I've been listening to them, and some of them are also on YouTube. So whenever I had like free time or just like folding my clothes, and I was just like watching a podcast on YouTube, and I really loved like the setting and the fact that that person was like with different, like 2 other friends, and it was just like a normal conversation and on a subject that I really like and like that I find interesting. It was about like religion and cultures. Like they're basically all from an Arab culture, and they were talking about their life in France and is it difficult, and which country I'm most attached to, and these things, because I kind of relate to this since I have a multicultural background, and at the same time I grew up somewhere else, and then now I'm in another country. Like I'm a bit all over. And so I was like, you know what, I identify with them, and I think that maybe my situation is the same as other people's situation. I'm probably not that unique in this world, and that other people live the same thing as me, just being from somewhere, living somewhere, and then going to study in another country, and just like being all over the place. So here I am. And also I wanted to try out, this podcasting. It's really cool. I feel really fancy with this microphone. I'm probably holding it weirdly. I don't know how to hold it like that. Or maybe I shouldn't just hold it at all. I'm not supposed to be holding it. It's just the way I'm sitting right now. It's just not ideal. But anyways, so yeah, I'm going to be posting on YouTube and on all the podcast platforms like Spotify, Deezer, Apple Podcasts, all these things, of course. And I opened an Instagram account, and what else? TikTok, and I'm working on like a landing page, like a website. So everything is still in process. So I will be posting on my Insta like a few snippets, and on TikTok as well, and like Q&As, like if you have any questions on like a specific thing about my podcast or about me or about anything or related to you, I don't know, I will be answering a few of them maybe in a podcast. So basically this podcast, which is called CultureChitChat, is basically going to talk about different cultures, as you may have guessed, but we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts in different cultures, and interesting things that maybe you don't know, maybe that I don't know. What's cool about this podcast is I'm gonna try to be inviting people from different cultures, obviously. So I mean, it could be just like a relative, because I didn't grow up the same way as my cousin grew up, since we didn't grow up in the same country. So this also could be like interesting. Also on YouTube, my videos will have captions. I'll try to make this caption thing work, because if one day I have an episode with like, I don't know, my French cousin, she won't be able to talk French English, so it's gonna be a bit complicated. So yeah, so those, like the people that are gonna be listening on Spotify and Deezer and all that, you guys could go on YouTube and watch that video. The videos that are basically not in English, but they're mostly going to be in English, hopefully, because it's just an exception. I'm still in France. I'm finishing up my studies. Hopefully I'm going to be moving soon when I finish, so I'll be kind of all over again moving. So this won't be my final setup. Like I won't be here for a few years. I'm just gonna stay here until like next year, like end of 2025. But yeah, and then we'll see. But you guys are gonna be moving with me, so that's gonna be fun. So yeah, that's, I think all I have to say right now as the first episode. I really hope this podcast is gonna be interesting for you, and if you have any suggestions, of course, leave them in the comments or leave a review or send me a message. Literally anything. If you have suggestion to make or a question that you have, and yeah, maybe I'll answer them in the video or in a podcast related to that question, So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this first episode, and I'm really excited to be starting this podcast, and I really hope that it's gonna grow. And yeah, thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you soon in another podcast. In another episode. Okay, see you.